My wife told my sister her wedding dress was ugly, and my sister wore it to our anniversary dinner. My wife and my sister love each other publicly and compete with each other privately. They hug at the door, they compliment each other's hair, and underneath all of that is a cold war that's been running since the day I introduced them 7 years ago. I live in the demilitarized zone. My sister Grace got engaged last year, found her dream dress within a week. She was so excited she drove straight to our house to show my wife before anyone else. Not our mom, not her best friend, my wife. Because Grace genuinely values her opinion. That was her first mistake. She held up the phone. The dress was big. Layers, ruffles, sparkle. It looked like a princess designed it during a sugar rush. Grace was glowing. What do you think? My wife Sarah tilted her head and did the smile. The specific smile she does when she's choosing words carefully. The smile that looks supportive but is actually a loading screen. It's different. Different. The most devastating word in the female vocabulary. Different doesn't mean unique. Different means I hate it, but I'm being diplomatic. Grace's glow dimmed by 40%. Different good or different bad? Different bold. Very you. Very you. Translation. I would never wear this. Nobody I respect would wear this. But it matches your personality, which is also a lot. Grace left. She seemed fine. She was not fine. My mom called an hour later. Your wife upset your sister. I said. She said it was bold. My mom said. Bold is worse than ugly. Bold means ugly with confidence. But the real damage happened later. Grace came back to grab her jacket. Sarah's phone was on the counter. Screen lit up. A text to her best friend. Grace showed me the dress. It looks like a haunted curtain that gained sentience and attacked a chandelier. Haunted curtain that attacked a chandelier. Grace read every word. She didn't say anything to anyone for 6 months. She smiled at Sarah, texted her, hugged her at every event, and she waited. The wedding happened. Dress was beautiful. Sarah said, stunning. Grace said, thank you. With the energy of a woman holding a receipt she plans to use later. 6 months after the wedding. Our 5th anniversary. Nice restaurant. Sarah bought a new dress. Looked incredible. We walked in feeling good. There was Grace, sitting at the bar, in her wedding dress. Full thing. Veil, train, every ruffle, every sparkle. Drinking a martini in a wedding gown like this was normal behavior. Oh, hey! Didn't know you'd be here. She absolutely knew. She requested the table next to ours. The hostess confirmed. She walked to our table. Full dress. Train dragging across the floor. Every person staring. An elderly couple looked concerned. She sat down. Spread the dress like a queen taking her throne. Opened the menu and said, sorry if I'm overdressed. I just love this haunted curtain so much I couldn't leave it in the closet. Haunted curtain. The exact words. Memorized. Held for 6 months. Deployed at a restaurant while wearing the evidence. Sarah's face went through 5 emotions. Shock, anger, embarrassment, then something I didn't expect. Respect. She'd been out-pettied by a professional. Sarah said, the dress looks beautiful actually. Grace said, oh I know. It's very me. She threw that back too. Every veiled insult weaponized into armor. She turned the criticism into a costume and wore it to dinner. The waiter came. Looked at Grace. Looked at us. Special occasion? Grace said, just celebrating bold fashion choices. Looking directly at Sarah. We had dinner. All 3 of us. My anniversary now included my sister in a wedding dress. Every compliment was a chess move. Your earrings are lovely, Sarah. Your veil is lovely, Grace. Driving home, Sarah was quiet. Then she said, your sister is insane. I said, you called her dress a haunted curtain. She said, it was a haunted curtain. I said, and she wore it to our anniversary. She won. Sarah didn't respond, which means Grace won. Next week, Grace sent a framed photo. Full dress. Martini. The frame engraved, for your haunted curtain collection. Sarah hung it in the guest bathroom. She says it's ironic. It's not ironic. It's a trophy mounted by the victor. Every guest who uses that bathroom sees my sister in a wedding dress holding a martini and smiling like a woman who waited 6 months to deliver the most elegant revenge in family history. Sarah hasn't commented on anyone's outfit since. She complimented my mom's sweater last week and stopped herself mid-sentence like she was checking for witnesses. Grace told me she keeps the dress accessible, just in case Sarah ever calls anything different again. Last month, Sarah wore a new jacket to dinner. Grace looked at it and said, that's cute, very different. Sarah's eye twitched. One word, from across the table. The haunted curtain is still haunting. They exchanged Christmas gifts last week. Sarah gave Grace a scented candle. Grace gave Sarah a framed dictionary definition of the word different, highlighted in yellow. Sarah laughed. Grace laughed. I laughed. But underneath the laughter was the sound of 2 women sharpening knives they'll never actually use but will absolutely never put down. That's their relationship. That's my life. 2 women who love each other with one hand and hold ammunition with the other. I just sit between them, eating my dinner, staying neutral, praying nobody brings up curtains.